Oh boy, the Pentagon Wars references are going to be real with this one. Good afternoon, you wee bastards, and welcome back to another Worth Under Devlog video with Koala. Today, who here has a freedom boner? Update 1.85 is seeing, well, a lot, but I'm sure what a lot of you American tankers are going to be most excited for is the M3 Bradley. Wow, you thought 2 years ago that we'd end up seeing the Abrams, Bradley, and Cobra combo in War Thunder. I think it might be time we needed an Apache, but at the same time, America doesn't need to be any stronger at top tier. What could we possibly be getting next? A-10 Warthog? F-14 Tomcat? Now the funny thing is I had a line in the script here about Gaijin not making planes anymore for War Thunder, and all of a sudden they released Tier 6 jets. Looks like I was wrong.
God damn it!
Guys, there will be a Tier 6 jets video out later today. There's going to be a double upload for both of the next days. This should make up for the Bradley video being way too late. I'm sorry about having this video out late, but I've had a lot of distractions and a lot of personal stuff to deal with, and we've been setting up the house for Christmas, so that's taken up a lot of my time. It's also been 40 degrees Celsius here for the last couple of days, so yeah. Why do people even settle in this country? Now, despite the excitement over the Bradley, and dear God am I excited for the Bradley, I don't really have too much to say on it. It's going to perform like... well, it'll have its nuances, but it will perform like the Warrior. Actually, I think for all you American guys out there, I should say the Warrior will perform like the Bradley, because, you know, the Bradley came first, right? The Bradley is kind of the first of these recognizable IFV designs. What's that? BMP who? Maro what? Now, you see, you're not understanding, comrade, alright? The chronology of whatever you're talking about just doesn't matter. The Bradley came first because my freedom. This video is going to be so American, I need a cup of tea. Now, despite what it came to be, if you don't know, the Bradley was originally only designed as a troop carrier, designed to replace the M113 APC, or Armoured Personnel Carrier. Obviously, the M113 is still in service today, so that didn't quite work. The design for the M113's replacement was actually specified as far back as the late 1950s, but over time, in the 2.5 decades before the Bradley ended up being pressed into service, there were a ton of changes to the role this intended vehicle would end up performing. So the specifications changed so many times, and that delayed the project by, well, a lot. Over this time, several M113s themselves were retrofitted by various companies as submissions for the Bradley's contract. The recognizable Bradley design, comparable to what we have today at least, was not actually finalized until 1976, when the FMC company's XM723 prototype received the two-man turret recognizable on today's Bradley. This turret was equipped with the 25mm M242 Bushmaster chain gun and TOW anti-tank missiles. By the way lads, if you do want a close look at this gun, I actually got to poke around a LAV 25 which has the M242 chain gun, so if you want to see that video, there'll be a link in the description, maybe a card on screen, go check it out, that was a lot of fun. What we're getting in War Thunder is the M3 Bradley, recognizable from the M2 in that it doesn't carry troops. The M2, well, I mean, the Bradley design is basically something that can do everything. It's a jack of all trades. It's got anti-tank, it's got scouting ability, it can carry troops. It was designed to be capable of everything a vehicle on a modern combat field would need to be able to do. The M3 sacrificed the troop carrying capability to basically gain increased scouting ability. So it carries a couple of scouts, but aside from that, it is just the crew of the vehicle. The M3 was also able to fit more ammunition because of this, upping the anti-tank missile storage from, I believe, 10 to as much as 14.
A troop transport that can't carry troops, a reconnaissance vehicle that's too conspicuous to do reconnaissance,
And a quasi-tank that has less armor than a snowblower, but has enough ammo to take out half of DC.
The Bradley should have enough armor to stop all secondary MGs, but besides that, it's going to perform like the other IFVs. Basically, think about this as a vehicle that doesn't have armor. Should stop all the secondary machine guns, maybe the 23mm from the Shilka, but don't count on it. It's going to have a very good gun. The 25mm M242 Bushmaster chain gun is exceptionally well performing even by today's standards, and we may get the M919 depleted uranium APFSDS rounds with around 200 plus millimeters of penetration. That's just an estimate, by the way. 100 millimeters penetration at 2 kilometers on those shells, but I'm not quite sure what it has at point blank. You guys will have to let me know. These shells may be slightly too modern, however. The variant of the M3 we are getting is the base M3, or later renamed M3A0. You can tell this by the firing ports seen on the side, which were removed on later variants. I really wish we were getting the M3A3, as that vehicle could mount explosive reactive armor, and by God does it look sexy. But that's just wishful thinking. The M3 is most definitely going to be enough. Other options for ammunition include the M791 tungsten-made APDS shell, plus some various high-explosive incendiary and semi-armor piercing rounds which we will likely get on the vehicle stock. Maybe later we will get an M3A3 after the initial base Bradley, which will have the M919 depleted uranium rounds, and that... oh boy. I really hope we get that eventually. I got my tea. Merry Christmas. The Warrior is one of my favourite vehicles in the entire game right now, so you can bet your life I'm going to play the crap out of the Bradley. And, well, you can really play it anywhere, can't you? At its tier, and it's likely going to set it around 8.0, 8.3 alongside the other IFVs, but like I've said with all of the previous ones, keep them in your lineup all the way to top tier, and my god, the American top tier lineup is going to get insane, especially with the release of new jets. The main gun is stabilised, and Gaijin gives a listed 200 rounds per minute fire rate. However, in real life, the Bradley has a variable fire rate, similar to some of the other IFVs, with either 100 rounds per minute or 300 rounds per minute. This would allow users to control the overheating of the gun. It's going to be equipped with the familiar TOW missile with 630mm penetration. It may be firing ITOWs, I'm not sure. I don't know if the Bradley ever did fire ITOs. I know modern times they fire javelins. At least I believe they do, or at least there's certain variants that do. I'm not quite as knowledgeable on this front, but the variant we are getting is going to have TOW missiles, maybe ITOs as an upgrade module, maybe not. It will not be firing TOW 2s, however. Otherwise, we're looking at a 9.7 battle rating. With a speed of 66 km per hour, it should be able to keep up with any MBT in the game over terrain, except obviously the latest announcement, the B1 Centauro, and it will definitely be capable of keeping up with any early tier 6 main battle tanks that should be around the battle rating this thing will be at. It will however have extremely low survivability despite having, no armor, but I think Fly keeps saying no armor is best armor, not realizing that the Bradley and the Warrior are both going to have hull break. Whilst we're on that subject, however, we could just remove hull break entirely. In my opinion, only wheeled vehicles should have hull break at all. Like, there's no way you're telling me a modern combat vehicle like the FV510 Warrior with composite armor and everything would be instantly destroyed the second a heat shell from a Panzer IV touches its track. No. Basically what this is going to be is the best iteration of the IFV design of all of the ones we see in War Thunder. The Begleitpanzer Panzer being the first, now we've got the BMP-2 and Warrior, and we're soon to get the Bradley as well. This will be the king of the IFVs.
Nice work, Colonel. Outstanding. Damn impressive.
Which is why I think it will be at a battle rating of 8.3, maybe even 8.7, and if the Bagel Panzer had stayed at 8.7, the Bradley would definitely be getting that battle rating as well. Another little tidbit for the Bradley that Gaijin states in the dev blog is that you won't be able to fire your missiles while on the move. See, the Bradley has a launcher that automatically stows itself above a certain speed, and you will not be able to use the missiles basically while driving in War Thunder. This seems like a really cool balancing mechanic in my opinion, but you guys will have to let me know your own thoughts down in the comment section. Something else really worth noting about the dev blog, however, was that in the cube, the Bradley was seen destroying a chieftain? What's with that, eh?
I don't get it.
We will have the highest ammunition count of any of the IFVs and the best gun. Although you may prefer the Begleitpanzers, Panzers, you guys will have to let me know, but you will be able to keep up a higher sustained fire rate in the Bradley. If the Warrior's increased ammo storage makes it better than the BMP-2, as many people said in the video I made comparing them, despite having no stabilizer and an incredibly low fire rate in comparison, then the increased ammunition count as well as the stabilizer and fire rate on the Bradley will definitely make it a competitor. We're going to have, well, 10 to 14 TOW anti-tank missiles, along with all the ammunition you get for the 25mm chain gun, which is going to be an equally effective weapon system on the Bradley. Yeah, this is going to be a hell of a vehicle. Man, this Santa Cup looks haunting in this light level. Jesus Christ. This means that the American lineup is going to get even stronger at top tier, so Guyton's really going to need to think of some ways to counter it. I've already talked about the possibility of the M1 IP going up to battle rating 10.3, getting the M900 shell, while the M1 at 10.0 could get the M833 shell. However, keep in mind I'm talking realistic performance of M833, where it actually has only 400mm of penetration and M774 is overperforming. But if you want to check out all my opinions on that, go see the previous videos I've done on these subjects. We're going to focus on the Bradley right here. I really hope Germany does get a variant of the Marder IFV eventually with the Milan missiles, but the Marder only has a 20mm gun, so I mean, we already have the Begleitpanzer based on the Marder chassis, but I don't know if there's a point of us getting both. Maybe it'll happen in future. And as I've said before, the more of these low armor, small gun IFVs that we get, the more of them are being used in games, the more powerful they become, because you have more targets running around the battle that you can kill with your gun. Think of this as being similar to the other IFV designs though, with a few bonuses. It's gonna be ATGM is your main weapon system, the 25mm being your secondary weapon system. However, on the Bradley, it will be potentially the most usable gun of all the IFVs. As for counters to the extremely strong American top tier lineup, the main problem is our FJ4B, the VMF-232, the event plane with the AGM-12 bullpups. I may be making a video on this topic soon because there are plenty of options to counter this plane, but here's a teaser. My god, this plane looks sexy. For now though, that's going to be it for this video. I am extremely excited for this update. This is going to be one of the most extensive updates War Thunder has ever seen. But of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm super excited. I can't even get it across enough, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video, lads. Please leave a like and subscribe as we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Come join me at all the links in the description below, and remember to come and support me on Patreon if you do wish to help me keep pumping out these videos. There's going to be a lot of work in the future, so any support you guys can give is incredibly useful. You can also access unique rewards for backing, such as privileges on the Koala Tree, my public Discord server, credits in videos, and the opportunity to join Dion Albanach, my War Thunder Squadron, where you guys can feature in future videos yourselves. Anyway, until the next one, which will be out later today, lads, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Keep your bagpipes on, keep your bagpipes to hand, keep your kilt on, and I shall see you, lads, next video. I say a wee thank you to these lads for supporting me on Patreon. Labvian Wolf, Gisli Arson, and Dark Recon. You lads are bra. If you wish to join them, come check out the link in the description below.